Ulstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Welcome everybody to Sunday, day 3 of this Essentia Health Legion Baseball Tournament that we are a venue of, as are 3 other places around the Fargo-Moorhead area. And we'll tell you all about where everybody went and get an update on that. But right now, Kindred Vikings taking the field to play Aberdeen.
Thanks to Aberdeen for sticking around to play game 2.
We're just getting ready for the national anthem. The Aberdeen Smitties are in town, hosted by the Kindred Vikings, like Wendy said. And we're going to have Kenzie Knight sing the national anthem. We have to break away, and we'll be back with American Legion Baseball and the starting lineups right after this on yourliveevent.com.
Neighborhood convenience store where convenience meets quality, whether you're fueling up with Marathon's top tier fuel or grabbing a quick snack. Express Lane has you covered. From hot stuff pizza, smash hit subs, premium soft serve ice cream, gas, diesel, and propane exchange. Make sure to use your Marathon app and get 7 cents back per gallon all summer long. Now offering premium 91 non-ethanol fuel. Express Lane is your friendly and locally owned convenience store.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us on yourliveevent.com. Mike and Wendy Bernier bringing you the game today as Kindred post 117. The Vikings take the field against Aberdeen this afternoon. Aberdeen just finished up a game against Wahpeton. And this is the last game of the day, the last game of this tournament, the Essentia Health Legion Baseball Tournament.
Aberdeen is in town, and they're getting ready to play some baseball here. Here's their starting lineup. Leading off and playing shortstop will be Will Haskell. Batting second, the designated hitter is Mason Backus. Batting third, playing over at third base, is Jack Post. Batting cleanup and playing at first base is Jashawn Rivera. Batting second, or batting fifth, and playing second base is Wheeler Malsom. Batting sixth and playing in center field is Donovan Kiso. Batting seventh and playing in left field is Drake Soderlund. Batting eighth and playing in right field is Simon Vorhos. And batting ninth and catching is Porter Lezensky. And doing the pitching will be Preston Welke. So it's Haskell, Backus, Post, Rivera, Malsom, Kiso, Soderlund. I think it's Voorhees. What were we saying earlier? Voorhees, Vorhos?
Voorhees, I believe.
Voorhees?
Voorhees is what I heard. If that needs a correction, hopefully somebody will come and tell us, but
that's
Voorhees.
And then it's Lezensky batting ninth, Preston Welke on the mound. They'll face a starting pitcher for the Kindred Vikings. It's Stanley Balaski. He'll start the ball game. Graham Hess will do the catching. Over at first base is Kelby Erdman. Playing over at second base is Andy Traum. At shortstop, Gabe Iverson. Over at third is Fisher Johnson. Out in left field is Carson Getty. In center field, Brady Baumgarten. And in right field, Jeremy Knight. First pitch of the game, in there for a strike.
And the first pitch of the game comes at 1:33.
just underway. Kindred Vikings, post 117, hosting the Aberdeen Schmitties. Smitties, I should say. There's a fly ball deep to left field. It gets over the head of Carson Getty in left field. And Aberdeen will lead off the ball game. The runner on second base. We'll call it a double.
And as this game gets going, we'll give you a heads up. This is a 20-team tournament, and we'll let you know there were 4 locations, and they did a pool. Everybody won their pool, and they're headed to the championship. So we'll give you an update about who won the pool here in Kindred and what they're doing.
Mason Backus steps to the plate for the Smitties. Aberdeen, South Dakota made the trip. Hey, I'd like to thank their ball club and their players and their parents. I talked to the coaches down there in the third base dugout when they got the call from Coach Almaris to say, hey, you guys want to play some baseball? He said it took about 3 seconds. He asked the parents, hey, you guys want to play another game on Sunday, another couple of games? And they said, absolutely. So they were all geared up and ready to play some baseball here in Kindred.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the love of the game on both sides of the plate today.
Leadoff double by Haskell. There's a ground ball over to third. Fisher Johnson checks him back, throws over to first in time. Haskell does make it over to third base on the play. So Backus grounds out on a 5-3 putout, 1 away. Runner on third with 1 down. Stanley Belaski gets the start. This is start number 2 for Stanley. First pitch is a ball to the batter, Jack Post. Playing over to third base. And the pitch, breaking ball, gets by him. This might score a run. There's going to be a play. Here's a throw. He's safe. Oh, what a play. Beautiful play by the runner, Will Haskell. He started to slide, and then he just kind of jumped up and avoided the tag of Stanley Belaski, and then he touched the plate. Josh Michelson, the home plate umpire, called him safe. And I think he got that call right. It looked like he was safe to me. Nice job by Will Haskell of avoiding the tag. He'll score on the wild pitch. And it's 1-0 Aberdeen. 2-1 the count to the batter, Jack Post.
That's good you agree, but I don't think even if you disagreed, it would.
It doesn't matter.
Josh is not gonna look to you.
It never matters what my opinion
Nope.
is. It only matters what the umpire's opinion is. But like I said, I think Josh got that call right. Josh Michelson umping behind home plate. Paul Quislin gets the nod out on the base paths. Here's a line drive, base hit into center field. A 1-out single for Jack Post.
That first game for Aberdeen must have warmed them up, as they're out here ready to play this afternoon. That's fun to see.
A leadoff double. Advances to third on a ground out. Scores on a wild pitch on a beautiful play by number 3, the shortstop, Will Haskell. Leaps over Stanley Belaski. That'll bring up Jashawn Rivera, the first baseman. Left-handed hitter. Takes a strike. Jashawn is spelled J-A-S-E-A-N. Jashawn. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch from number 0, Stanley Belaski. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Early on, top of the first inning. Beautiful day in Kindred. It's warm. Called strike 3 on a fastball. Rivera goes down looking for out number 2. First strikeout for Stanley Belaski. All the more reason to come out to the ball game and have yourself some cold drinks. So they're selling lemonade down there still. And
They are. The kids are running that lemonade stand. And I heard that drumsticks. I didn't know about that yesterday. But the ice cream is lots of varieties and really cold and good.
And here's the first pitch to the batter, Wheeler Malsom. He's a second baseman, takes a fastball up and in, nearly hit him. Where's number 8, right-handed hitter? 1 run, 2 hits, early goings for Aberdeen, top of the first inning. Here's a pitch, breaking ball, popped in the air down the right field line. It's going to drift foul and land well out of play. Jeremy Knight getting the start out in right field. Gave it a look, but it was well foul. A lot of foul territory in this ballpark, both behind the plate and down each line. Team's got to be careful if they throw to first base and overthrow first base on a pickoff attempt. Good chance the runner's going to get a couple of bases on it. Breaking ball is over, swing and a miss for Wheeler Malsom. 1-2 the count. Donovan Kiso on deck. And here's a pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. He got him. Aberdeen does come up with a run on a couple of hits. They leave one runner aboard after a half an inning. Aberdeen, the Smitties lead it 1-0 with the Kindred Vikings coming to bat on yourliveevent.com.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
Welcome back, everybody, to Viking Varsity Field. We are having a great day on the last day of this tournament. Kindred versus Aberdeen.
Here's the Kindred Vikings lineup under head coach Josh Almaris. He's assisted by Nick Eggman and Dean Wixo. Leading off and playing in center field is number 1, Brady Baumgarten. Batting second, the pitcher, Stanley Belaski. Batting third and catching, Graham Hess. Batting cleanup and playing in right field is Jeremy Knight. Batting fifth, playing in left field is Carson Getty. Batting sixth, playing over at first base, Kelby Erdman. Batting seventh and playing at shortstop is Gabe Iverson. Batting eighth and playing at third is Fisher Johnson. And batting ninth, second baseman Andy Traum. Leadoff hitter Brady Baumgarten takes ball one. From the right-handed pitcher, Preston Welke. Second pitch misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Welke wears number 1, throws out of the full windup with nobody on. Throws a fastball in there for a strike. Aberdeen leads this. They picked up a run on a wild pitch after a leadoff double. They lead it 1-0, bottom of the first inning. Here's a 2-1 pitch, swinging a little grounder over towards third. That's, the shortstop cuts in front, Will Haskell, and he'll boot it. We'll call it an error, E6. And the Vikings have their leadoff runner aboard. And we've talked about this before. Brady can run. Stanley Belaski will be the batter.
Yeah, almost with every every runner that Kindred has, they do have the speed. Reminds me of wasn't it the Twins that had the Piranhas? They labeled those gentlemen that could run so fast and run around and get them. It's kind of what I feel like every time we're talking about these fast Kindred runners.
Yeah, the Twins at the time had a lot of middle infielders that could hit the ball around. They could run, they could field. And Ozzie Guillen, the manager for the Chicago White Sox, coined that term. He said, they're like a bunch of piranhas. They just keep coming at you. And how about this? Speaking about piranhas, Stanley Belaski lays down a bunt, likely trying to just give himself up to move the runner into scoring position, and he just bunts it perfectly down the third base line. It's an infield bunt single for Stanley Belaski, and there's runners at first and second. Runners at first and second. First hit for the Vikings. 2 on, nobody out. Here's a pitch. Graham Hess swings and misses. Graham Hess wears number 4, right-handed hitter. He'll be a junior at Kindred High School this year. And here's the 0-1 pitch. He shows bunt, takes down low. Brady had a pretty big lead over at second base, but he scampers back. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Right-handed pitcher Preston Welke. On the mound, throwing out of the stretch, looks back. First baseman charges hard. That's Rivera. And the bunt is down, and it's a good one. This might be a bunt hit. Throw over to first is not in time. Knocked down nicely by the second baseman, Wheeler Malsom.
He had it in his glove for just a fraction of a second, and it kind of popped back out.
If that ball gets by him, that scores at least 1 run, possibly 2. It's a base hit. It's an infield single. They wouldn't have had him anyway had it been a good throw.
And Sawyer comes in to run for him. Sawyer going to be a senior this year, which I don't even want to talk about. I don't want to cry on air. It's so many emotions with some of these boys going into their senior year this fall.
When Sawyer Hess runs for Graham Hess, it makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to remember who's running because I could just say Hess, and I'll be right. I used to just say growing up when they would be on the same field together for whatever reason, I would just say Sawyer Graham, so I knew I got it
Sawyer
right.
Graham, yeah. Well, for so many years when they were little, I thought they were twins.
Swing and a miss by Jeremy Knight.
But that is not the case. Sawyer going to be a senior, Graham going to be a junior. And they do have 2 littles, too. They have the younger siblings as well that kind of, when we're doing a game, don't get mentioned as much. But
here's a pitch up and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. Jeremy Knight, the batter, playing in right field, had a big booming double to left center field last night. Got to bring him up here for an interview, and that was a lot of fun. 2-1, swing and a miss. And a ball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
yeah, Jeremy's sister sang the national anthem this morning, or this afternoon, I should say.
Yeah,
Another beautiful anthem. If you want to hear some good anthems, better get out here before first pitch in Kindred.
Swing and a miss. First out is recorded. Welke, obviously his first strikeout. Strikes out Jeremy Knight, and that brings up Carson Getty, the left fielder.
Number 27, Carson Getty.
Brady Baumgarten hit a grounder out to shortstop, reach on an error. Infield bunt single, beautiful bunt single by Stanley Belaski. And then another bunt single by Graham Hess. So they have the bases loaded, haven't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. 1-0 the count to Carson Getty. Way up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Kelby Erdman awaits on deck. He'll likely get his chance. Throwing out of the full windup is Welke. Pitch misses down and in. This might score a run. And Brady doesn't have to do any fancy dancing or jumping around. He just comes straight in and scores the tying run. How about Will Haskell avoiding the tag of Stanley Belaski in the top at the end of the inning? That was kind of fun to watch. Runners do move up here. Stanley Belaski to third. Hess to second. It is a wild pitch. We're tied at 1. And here's a pitch. Upstairs, he walked him. Bases are loaded once again.
Getty draws the walk.
For Kelby Erdman.
First baseman.
What a ball game Kelby Erdman pitched yesterday.
Yeah, and he was excited about it. If you want to see the pictures of Kelby and the definition of excitement, go find that picture on the Kindred Youth Baseball Facebook page.
Swing and a miss, strike 1.
He did not, that was not his poker face. Let's just say that he did not hide as he was pretty excited and stoked about the win yesterday.
Swing and a foul. No balls and 2 strikes. He went 7 innings, a complete game. He did give up a couple of runs, but both were unearned. Struck out 6 batters. Looked fantastic. Got the win. That was against Wahpeton, the team that Aberdeen played earlier today. Wahpeton did come away with a victory in that ball game.
12-3.
1-2 the count. Kelby Erdman. Where's number 24 today with these jerseys? And he got hit, drives in a run. Pulaski comes across to score. Hess moves up to third, Getty to second, and Erdman is aboard with a run batted in, hit batsman. Bases still loaded, 2-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings. Gabe Iverson steps to the plate. Gets a start at shortstop in this ball game. And the pitch, swing and a miss. 22 pitches thrown by the right-hander, Preston Welke. Now here's the 0-1. Fastball swing and a line drive down for a hit into center field. Getty's being waved home. He'll come across to score. A 2-run single for Gabe Iverson. Hit it hard. Erdman stops at second. Both Sawyer Hess, and Carson Getty come across to score, and it's 4-1 Kindred Vikings.
And now there's some activity headed out to Aberdeen's bullpen.
That'll bring up Fisher Johnson, playing over at third base today, left-handed hitter. Once again, just back from an injury. Here's a ground ball hard down over towards Nick Eggman. He can't come up with it.
Coach Egg just couldn't make the play on that one.
Well, he had like 5 batting gloves in his hand down there, so.
I use them as a mitt.
Yeah. Not making up any excuses for that big-time error by the first base coach. Here's the 0-1 set.
I'm pretty sure he can hear the heckling from the press box, too.
Yeah, I made it loud enough so he could hear it. Here's a line drive out to left field, caught by the left fielder. That's Drake Soderlund out in left. Hard hit ball by Fisher Johnson, but man, Drake Soderlund pretty much right in his tracks. Right there to make the catch for out number 2. 2 down. Andy Traum steps to the plate. Where's number 10, right-handed hitter, second baseman. Trying to extend this lead. Here's a pitch by Welke. It's a ball outside. A 4-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings. In there for a strike. Traum didn't think so. And I knew that by his nonverbal communication skills. Here's a 1-1 set. And the pitch. Swing and a foul out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Coach Elmer's ball behind you.
One and 2 the count as a ball gets away from the bullpen down there. Looked to me like the designated hitter number 9 is Mason Backus. He's out there warming up for Aberdeen. Andy Traum swings and misses, strike 3, and that's 3 outs for the Vikings. But man, they strike for 4 runs with 3 hits. There was an error. A couple runners left on base at the end of 1 inning. Kindred Vikings lead at 4-1, and Aberdeen, the Smitties, coming to bat.
For any accounting needs you may have, Todd R. World Certified Public Accountant has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
Welcome back, everybody, to Legion Baseball. Still the last game here in Kindred of this Essentia Health Legion Baseball Tournament. Seward had won the pool here in Kindred, so they went over to Starion this morning and beat the Post 400 Comets 10-2. And their next game was supposed to start at 2, but looking at things, I don't think it's quite started yet. Post 2:11, Elkhorn North Equitable Bank Wolves had played the Jets, and it looks like the Jets did not win that one. It looks like Elkhorn won that one 6-5. So I'm going to double check that, but that would mean that two Nebraska teams are in the championship game there at Starion this afternoon, but we will double check that.
4-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings. First pitch to the left-handed hitting Donovan Kiso. Center fielder. 6, 7, and 8 hitters to bat for the Smithies out of Aberdeen, South Dakota. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
There's a lot of baseball going on this weekend. It is the centennial of Legion Baseball. Turns 100 years old this summer.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swinging in a ground ball on the right side. Trom has it. Can't find the handle. I think we got to give him an infield single. Infield single, so no error on the play. Trom made a nice job moving to his left, fielded it, but just couldn't quite get the handle on it to make the throw. So it's an infield base hit. Nice stop by Trom. Good effort. Third hit for Aberdeen. Throw over to first. It's not in time.
That Centennial Classic is going down in Millbank, South Dakota. That championship game is going on right now.
Here's a check swing, and it's going to get by Graham Hess, so Kiso will move down to second base on a pass ball.
Lemoore made it to the championship game down in Millbank this afternoon. That game going on right now. So Lemoore representing North Dakota Legion Baseball. We'll figure out who wins that one later on this afternoon.
On the play over at first base, I was chuckling because Paul Quizin made a safe call, but he just raised his right hand, and you could hear Josh Almaris below us go, is he only half safe? He didn't raise both hands, and so you could kind of hear them giving each other a little ribbing. Here's a 2-0 count to Drake Soderlund, left fielder. And this time, Paul Quizlin motions with both arms that he's safe and gives Josh a little look. 2 balls and no strikes. Drake Soderlund, left fielder. And the pitch in there for a strike.
Yeah, just a second. Is there a game here on the Diamond Tournament? No. Nothing on the main Diamond.
2-1 the count. Stanley Belaski on the hill. Check swing. Called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for Aberdeen. For Kindred, 4 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Leadoff runners aboard with an infield single. Gets to second on a pass ball. Nobody out. Fastball up. Count goes full to Drake Soderlund. Simon Voorhees on deck. Here's a 3-2 set by Belaski. Fastball in there for a strike. Called strike 3, and there's 1 away. Third strikeout for Stanley.
Strikeout number 3. Brings up right fielder number 5, Simon Voorhees.
Simon Voorhees, the right fielder. Left-handed hitter, wears number 5. And here's a pitch. Fastball up. Stanley Belaski wears number 0, pitching out of the stretch with a runner on second base. Gabe Iverson giving him a look. And the pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike. This next pitch will be Stanley's 30th pitch. Now here's a 1-1. Swing and a miss. And now here's a 1-2 set. And the pitch, fastball swinging a foul at the screen. Earlier this the at-bat before this one, Donovan Queso reached second base on a pass ball. I was asked before the game by one of the fans here, what's the difference between a wild pitch and a pass ball? Well, a wild pitch is credited or discredited, however you want to look at it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down, 4 strikeouts now for Stanley. A wild pitch counts as a statistic against the pitcher, as goes down as a wild pitch. If it's on the catcher, if the catcher should have had it, it's called a pass ball. The significance there is if that runner wouldn't have ordinarily scored and it's scored as a pass ball, if that runner eventually scores, for example, if there's a base hit right now and Queso scores, it'll be an unearned run because it was against the catcher. If it's a wild pitch, it does count as an earned run against the pitcher. Here's the pitch upstairs, ball 1. Porter Lazensky is the catcher. And I was also asked if they advance to second base or advanced bases on a wild pitch, if that counts as a stolen base. It does not unless they were stealing to begin with. If they took off and they were stealing second and the pitch goes wild, they do get credit for the stolen base. And it's not a wild pitch.
You're just educating everybody on baseball this morning.
Well, they had questions about it. And
well, you're the guy to answer.
And thought I'd clarify that on the air for everybody. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. And likewise, when Brady Baumgarten reached on the air, that counts against his batting average. It counts as if he grounded out just the same. But he does get credit for the run scored because it came across to score. Now that is an unearned run for the pitcher, because he should have been out. And why that's significant is because when you look at pitchers, their ERA, their earned run average, that's a statistic that's extremely important. But now they have advanced analytics and they look at spin rates and all of this jazz. So ERA has kind of gone to the wayside a little bit, but it's still something that people look at. Here's a pitch. It's in the dirt. That'll get away. That will be a wild pitch. Nothing Graham could have done about that one. So now it's a wild pitch to third base. Porter Lazensky, the catcher. Right-handed hitter. Wears number 12. Has a full count. Now here's the 3-2 set. And the pitch. Fastball. Swing and a miss. He got him. So a leadoff single. He gets to second on a pass ball, third on a wild pitch. He doesn't come across the score, so the scoring doesn't make any difference at this point. And Stanley winds up striking out the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base at the end of an inning and a half. Kindred Vikings coming to bat, leading 4-1.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Welcome back, everybody, for Legion Baseball.
Back to the top of the order for the Kindred Vikings. First pitch is popped foul. Brady Baumgarten to bat. He had a ground ball out to short to start the first inning. He reached on an error by the shortstop. Came around to score later on a wild pitch. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a line drive towards the shortstop. Nice play by Will Haskell. Throws over to first. It's low. Scooped out of the dirt. But he's off the bag, so we're going to have to give him another error to Will Haskell. It's going to be E6. Scooped out of the dirt nicely by Jashawn Rivera. The umpire says his foot was off the bag, and Brady Baumgarten is safe. Second error for Aberdeen. That brings up Stanley Belaski. Had a beautiful bunt single up the third base line. This time, Jack Post in on the dirt, or in on the grass, I should say, to try to take away that bunting opportunity. Preston Welke, the starting pitcher, throws over to first base. Close play. And Paul Quisland once again gives the half-safe signal. One run, 3 hits, 2 errors for Aberdeen. Kindred Vikings, 4 runs, 3 hits. 1 on, none out. Here's the pitch. Swinging and a line drive fouled on the third base line. Strike 1. Graham Hess is on deck. 2 bunt singles in that first inning, and they both came across to score. One by Belaski, one by Graham Hess. Here's a 1-1 set. And here's a pitch. Fastball down low. Two balls and 1 strike the count. Now here's a set by Welke. Fastball laced in the air to center field. Donovan Kiesau, the left-hander, goes back and makes a catch. Belaski lines out to center field, hit that ball hard, but he's out. And Graham Hess will step to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with that bunt single in the first. He came across, well, another Hess came across to score, a courtesy runner for the catcher. So Sawyer Hess came in and scored the run. Throw over to first base. Back in time is Brady. And if you're wondering, if Graham Hess gets on base, gets the walk, and he has a courtesy runner for him, does Graham get credit for the run scored? He does not. It goes to the courtesy runner. So Sawyer Hess gets credit for the run scored. Breaking ball, misses away. Throw down to first base, not in time. Brady got a little far off the base. In fact, he was stealing, but I think he slipped a little bit, so he decided not to run down to second base and got back to first base safely. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Graham Hess. Pitches upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. 37 pitches thrown by the right-hander, Preston Welke. Bottom of second, 4-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings. 1 on, 1 out. Ball in the dirt. It's going to skip past the catcher. And Brady moves up on a wild pitch. Count is 3-0 to Graham Hess. In all likelihood, Graham Hess has a green light to swing here. Batting in the 3 hole. Here's a chance to extend the lead. Here's a 3-0 set, and the pitch is down low. Ball 4, we'll never know. Hess draws a walk, puts runners at first and second. I'm sure Sawyer will come out and run for him again. Yep, timeout is called on the base paths, and here comes Sawyer. So Hess runs for Hess. Jeremy Knight will step to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. Has runners at first and second with 1 down here. Jeremy Knight, tremendous power. Throw back to second base. Brady Baumgarten is back in time. Carson Getty is on deck. What a great day for baseball. It's warm. Muscles are all loose. Everybody's ready to play. Here's a pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely, this time by the catcher, but it got away from the catcher just enough for Brady Baumgarten to scamper down to third base. Again, that's another wild pitch. Hess does move up to second. Nice job by the catcher, Porter Lazinski. That was a tough ball to handle, and he got a glove on it. It just skipped away from him. And another one skips away, and Brady's going to come across to score his second run. He reaches on an error, and 3 wild pitches get him around the bases to score. Hess moves up to third. It's 5-1. Vikings lead.
Yeah, it is pretty warm out. It's about 88 degrees. So I know these gentlemen play in the heat, but this is their game too. So they got to make sure they're staying hydrated, and the umpires too. So yeah, your muscles are loose, but you want to be sure all the guys are hydrated and staying in the shade when they get back in that dugout. 88 degrees and sunny here in Kindred.
And I believe that was Coach Max Preen coming out to talk to the pitcher. Their head coach is Tyson Lean. 2-0 the count to Jeremy Knight. High fly ball, left center field. This ball's hit pretty well, and it's got some carry. It's over everybody's head. And Jeremy Knight has an extra base hit once again. It's an RBI double to left center field. Scores Sawyer Hess. And it's 6-1 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. 4 hits now for the Vikings. Carson Getty steps to the plate with 1 out, runner on second base. No official at bat. He walked in the first and came around to score. Takes a strike 1 from the right-hander, Preston Welke. There was action in the bullpen earlier for the Smitties. Designated hitter number 9, Mason Backus, was warming up last inning. With this weather, shouldn't take you a whole lot of pitches to warm yourself up. Here's the 0-1 pitch, ripped hard. It hits the umpire. It hits Paul Quisland, and everybody's going to be safe. It's an infield single for Carson Getty. So Paul Quisland has been umpiring and been around this baseball game for a long time, and he handled that one like a champ. That one hurt. Got him in the shin area. And he walked it off. And he's ready to ump. Does some jawing back into the dugout again. And if you're wondering if there's such a thing as umpire interference, there is not. They are treated just like, not that they're inanimate objects or anything like that. They are human beings. But it's, as far as the scoring goes, it's very similar to hitting the base. So if you hit a line drive and you hit second base, it's pretty much the same thing. So it hit the umpire. The ball's still live. It's not a dead ball. And so Carson Getty was able to get to first base on a single.
And if you can't see things, speaking of the heat, our camera might be getting a little warm here. So if I'm going to check some chords, and Mike will still give you the play-by-play. We'll pretend it's radio for a minute while I try and fix the camera.
Kelby Erdman is the batter. He takes a big old hack and fouls it back to the catcher. Caught a piece of the catcher, so the umpire, Josh Michelson. So baseballs are connecting with a lot of different people here. Paul Quisland hit with a hard hit ground ball by Carson Getty. Now the pitch foul tipped into the catcher, Porter Lazinski. Caught a piece of him, and so I think he's okay. It's a 6-1 lead for Kindred. Bottom of the second inning. 2 runs in this inning. Jeremy Knight on third. Carson Getty on at first. Kelby Erdman at the plate. Getty runs, and he steals second base, and he's in there easily on a stolen base. Erdman, by the way, was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the first inning, drove in a run.
Still with some technical difficulties here.
0-2 the count. Now here's a pitch. Fastball swinging a pop-up foul out of play. 47 pitches thrown now by the right-hander, Preston Welke. Gabe Iverson is on deck. And the pitch is way up high. Misses ball one. 1-2 the count. Kelby Erdman at the plate. Powerful right-handed hitter. And here's the 1-2 set. And the pitch way up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One run, 3 hits, 2 errors for Aberdeen. Kindred Vikings, 6 runs, 5 hits. Pitches down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners on second and third with 1 out. Bottom of 2. Now here's a 3-2 set. And he steps off and looks back towards second base. Getty back in plenty of time. And here's a pitch, swinging a ground ball up the third base line. Takes a weird hop, long throw across the diamond, scooped out nicely by Deshaun Rivera over at first base. Nice play all around. Jack Post played the weird hop, backhanded it, threw across the diamond to Deshaun Rivera, and he was able to scoop it out of the dirt. And it's a 5-3 putout. Neither runner advanced on the play, so 2 down now. Here's a high pop fly by Gabe Iverson on the right side of the infield. Wheeler Malsom, the second baseman, comes up and makes a catch, and that's a 3rd out. The Kindred Vikings, however, do come up with a couple of runs. There was two hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 2, Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 6-1. Is it 7-1? Jeremy Knight came across the score. Oh, so Jeremy Knight did score. I'm sorry. Getty over to third, so that's an RBI for Kelby Erdman. So it's a 7-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings, and we'll come back after this on yourliveevent.com.
Halstead Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neilsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argosville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for some technical issues. I think the heat, we spoke of it, we jinxed it. Now I got some equipment that might be overheating, but we'll take care of that. Put the equipment on ice, maybe.
Back to the top of the order for Aberdeen. Will Haskell steps to the plate. He doubled to lead off this game, came around to score. Now here's a blooper out towards second base. Andy Trom has it measured. He puts it away for out number 1. Mulaski has now set down 4 in a row after the leadoff single in the second inning. He wound up striking out the side in the second. 5 strikeouts for Stanley. Mason Backus will step to the plate. He grounded out to third his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Designated hitter. Here's a pitch, breaking ball, misses. 1 ball and no strikes. It is 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors for Aberdeen. Kindred Vikings 7 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. And here's a pitch, breaking ball, check swing, he went around. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Kelby Erdman does get an RBI. I didn't think the runners advanced, but Jeremy Knight did come across the score, and Getty moved over to third. Here's a little grounder over on the third base side. Fielded nicely by Belaski. Fires a perfect throw over to Kelby Erdman and gets the out recorded. It's a 1-3 putout. 2 down. 5 in a row set down by Stanley Belaski.
Third baseman, Jack Post.
Nice play by Stanley. That's a very difficult play for the third baseman just because it was kind of a no man's land over the other side of the mound. Belaski made a nice move, scampered over there and barehanded it, threw it hard over to first to record the out. Wendy's getting an ice pack for the video equipment.
Yeah, it's I got it in the shade. I got a bottle of water on it. It's warm here today, and so we'll try and take care of things here, and hopefully, if nothing else, if it goes back out, we'll just close our eyes and pretend it's radio for a minute.
Here's Jack Post to bat. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit. Has a 3-0 count against him. Stanley Belaski looking in. Now here's the set and the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. 3-1 the count. Stanley has thrown 47 pitches. Here's a 3-1 delivery. Breaking ball missed up, and he walked him. So Post is on for the second time. That'll bring Rivera. Jashawn Rivera steps up. He's 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up. Wheeler Malsom is on deck. And here's a set by Belaski. And the pitch. Fastball swinging a foul at the plate. 0-1 the count. Now here's a set. And the delivery. Breaking ball popped in the air in the infield. Belaski's calling for it. The pitcher, he takes charge and puts it away. And the side is set down in the top of the third inning. And for the Smitties, no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left aboard at the end of 2.5. Kindred Vikings lead it by a score of 7-1 on yourliveevent.com.
For any accounting needs you may have, Todd R. World Certified Public Accountant has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ. 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us here in Kindred as the Vikings post 117 are facing Aberdeen.
Kindred Vikings bat their 8-9-1 hitters. They'll do it against a new pitcher, Mason Backus. The designated hitter, comes on to pitch. So the designated hitter is dissolved. The starting pitcher, Preston Welke, is removed from the ball game. He goes 2 innings, 5 hits allowed, 7 runs, only 4 earned, walked 2, struck out 2. Here's a swing and a drive into right field by Fisher Johnson. Right fielder Voorhees over there to make the catch, and it's another line out for Fisher Johnson. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times.
Second baseman, Andy Trom.
And there's one down. Fisher Johnson, Andy Trom, and Brady Baumgarten to bat. Andy Trom steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors for Aberdeen. Kindred, 7 runs on 5 hits.
And this news just in: Glenwood Lowry of Minnesota wins the Centennial Classic 9-4 over Lemoore.
Line drive base hit into center field for Andy Trom.
That'll bring up leadoff hitter, center fielder, number 1, Brady Baumgarten.
So who won that tournament down there?
So the final, it says, this is posted by American Legion Baseball, that Glenwood Lowry out of Minnesota wins the Centennial Classic 9-4 over Lemoore, North Dakota. So they congratulate all 4 teams who participated in that Centennial Classic. And thanks to Millbrink, the birthplace of Legion Baseball, for hosting that. But it's not over. This birthday party of Legion Baseball turning 100 is not over.
Brady Baumgarten steps to the plate. He's reached on an error by the shortstop a couple of times, and he scored on wild pitches twice.
The state tournament for this Class A in North Dakota will be hosted over in Castleton. So we'll tell you all about those dates and what to expect right in our backyard. Our neighbors are hosting that state tournament.
Foul ball, back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Mason Backus, the right-handed pitcher, on to pitch. Throws outside. 2 balls and a strike. Stanley Belaski on deck. Now here's a 2-1 set. And the pitch. It hit him. Brady Baumgarten is aboard.
Baumgarten hit by pitch.
Puts runners at first and second with 1 out.
Moves Trom to second.
Stanley Belaski will step to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the first on a bunt single. Came around to score. Lined out to center field in the second inning. After Trom's single, that's 6 hits now for the Vikings. Here's the set and the pitch by Backus. Fastball in the dirt. It's going to get away. The runners are going to advance. That'll be a wild pitch. Trom to third. Baumgarten to second base. Here's a 1-0 set by the pitcher Backus. Fastball off the bat of Stanley. He didn't even really check swing. He just kind of moved the barrel head of his bat slightly, and that's where it hit. He fouled it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Didn't mean to. And here's a pitch, swinging a grounder into the hole on the left side. Sneaks through the left side for a base hit. And 1 run comes across to score as Trom scores to make it 8-1. An RBI single for Stanley Belaski. Baumgarten does move up to third base. 8-1 lead now for the Kindred Vikings as Aberdeen goes through a set of signs. Graham Hess is 1 for 1. Had a bunt single in the first and scored. Walked in the second and scored. And when I say he, I mean his older brother. Courtesy ran for him and came across the score. And here's the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Now here's the set and the delivery. Swing and a foul out of play. Now here's the 0-2 set. And the pitch. Swing and a foul at the plate. Pulaski was taking off on the pitch. He'll go back to first base. Dead ball foul. No balls and 2 strikes. No balls and 2 strikes. The count to Graham Hess. And the pitch down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now here's the 1-2. Ball down low again. Runner goes. And it goes all the way through, and it's going to skip into center field. And Brady Baumgartner is going to score on the throwing error by the catcher. It's a stolen base for Stanley Belaski. He's safe at second base. The count is 2-2 to Graham Hess. So Stanley steals second base. The throw, I think it skipped off of Stanley, and it kind of scrambled into right center field, allowing Brady Baumgartner to score from third base. He scores his 3rd run of the ballgame. Three errors now for Aberdeen. Here's a line drive into right, down for a hit, and it's going to skip past a right fielder. That will score a run. Belaski's going to come across to score. He's going to stop at second. I believe that's an RBI single with an advance to second base on the error by the right fielder. Belaski scores.
Bring up number 17, right fielder, Jeremy Knight.
Graham Hess is staying out there to run this time. Jeremy Hess steps to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He struck out in the first. Big booming double in the second inning. Drove in a run. He also came across to score. It's a 10-1 ball game for the Vikings. And the pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Carson Getty is on deck. And a throw down to second base, not in time to get Graham Hess. Now here's the 0-1 set. And here's a pitch. Fastball swinging a high pop fly. It's over on the first base side, and it's going to drift out of play. Strike 2. One run, 3 hits, 4 errors now for Aberdeen. For the Vikings, 10 runs on 8 hits. And no errors. 0-2 count on Jeremy Knight. Runner on second, 1 down. And here's the set. And here's a pitch. Fastball swing and a drive into left. This ball's hit pretty hard. This ball's got some carry. This ball's over the head of the left fielder, and he falls down. It'll be more extra base hits for Jeremy Knight. He's running towards third, and he's going to be in there with a triple. A hard hit RBI triple for Jeremy Knight. Scores Graham Hess. It's 11-1 in favor of the Kindred Vikings.
They'll bring up number 25, left fielder, Carson Getty.
Carson Getty will step to the plate. There's only 1 out. Runner on third now, a 10-run lead for the Kindred Vikings. 11-1 is the score. 9 hits pounded out by the Kindred Vikings now. And here's a pitch by Backus. Fastball up, ball one. Getty walked and scored a run in the first inning, singled, stole a base in the second, was eventually stranded at third base. And here's a 1-0. Breaking ball, ripped hard over towards the first baseman, caught. That ball was hit very hard, and Deshaun Rivera kind of dove to his right and made the catch. And it's a line out for out number 2. Nice play by Deshaun Rivera. That'll bring up Kelby Erdman. Erdman, with the bases loaded in the first inning, was hit by a pitch, drove in a run. Then with runners at second and third in the second inning, he hit a ground ball, and he grounded out 5-3, but drove in another run, so he's 0 for 1 with 2 runs batted in. First pitch is a strike. Here's the pitch, breaking ball down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now here's a 1-1 pitch. Fastball hit him. For the second time, Kelby is hit with a pitch. That'll bring up Gabe Iverson. Gabe had a big 2-run single in the first inning. At the time, Vikings were up by a score of 2-1, and Gabe Iverson laced a base hit into right center field, scored a couple of runs, extended the lead to 4-1 at the time. For Aberdeen, they scored their 1 run in the first. Kindred Vikings 4 in the first, 3 in the second, now 4 here so far in the third inning. And they will have batted around for the second time in the game, as Gabe Iverson is the 9th batter of this inning. Off-speed pitch misses upstairs. 1-0. Kelby Erdman on at first base. Jeremy Knight on at third. Here's the set. And here's the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Two down. And here's the throw over to first base. Kelby Erdman is back. One and one the count. And here's a pitch. Fastball down. 2 balls and a strike. And a throw back to the pitcher, the shortstop. Will Haskell's out there to cover it. Two and one the count. And here's a pitch. Fastball, swing and a line drive over towards the second baseman. Scooped out nicely, and he throws him out at first base. Nice play by the second baseman. Wheeler Malsum throws over to Rivera at first base, and the side is out for the Vikings. However, they do come up with 4 more runs. Pound out some more hits. They lead it by a score of 11-1 on yourliveevent.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us at Kindred Varsity Field, where Aberdeen and Kindred are going at it. Kindred currently leads 11-1. There's a few changes. Mike's figuring out a few of the changes going on. And also to mention, coming off the field there, Kelby had a little bit of a limp going on. So we're going to do a little investigating and make sure he's okay.
Well, Sawyer Hess comes in to play first base. Dylan Stone, the birthday boy, 18 years old today. He's in at third base. I assume he's in for Fisher Johnson in the 8-hole. And then Max Bernier's in at catcher. And I'm sure he's batting in the 3-hole now for Graham Hess. I believe we have a new center fielder as well. Who's in center? Kylan Swenson's in center field for Brady Baumgarten. Not sure where they're at in the batting lineup.
I would assume there's position switches.
Stanley Belaski's still on the mound for the Vikings. And here's a pitch, swinging a pop-up foul, out of play, strike one. Two and one the count. The hitter, by the way, is Wheeler Malsom. Made that nice play to end that half an inning. Here's a pitch, almost hit him. It did hit him. And he'll reach first base. Belaski hits a batter. That'll bring up Donovan Kiso. He's 1 for 1. He's singled in the second inning.
Number 7, Donovan Kiso.
And here's a pitch. It's up high, ball one. So Max Bernier in at catcher, Sawyer Hess at first base. Dylan Stone over at third, Kylan Swenson in center field. Here's a pitch, line drive, foul down the right field line into the bullpen. Down the right field line, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now here's a 1-1 set. And here's a pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Nice frame by Bernier. Now here's a 1-2 delivery from Stanley Belaski. And the pitch misses outside a little bit. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There was some discussion going on between the two head coaches in between innings there. There is a 8-run rule effect and a 10-run rule in effect in some cases. It's possible, I'll say it's possible because I didn't get the word, that if this game ends here, or this inning ends with an 8-run lead for the Vikings, this game might be over. But we'll see what the discussions were. Here's a 2-2 breaking ball, swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Kiso goes down on strikes. 6 strikeouts now for the Vikings.
Left fielder,
Drake Soderlund steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He struck out looking back in the second. Runner on first, 1 out. And the pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike. Now here's the 0-1 set and the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Stanley Belaski on the mound, throwing a nice ball game. Here's the 0-2, breaking ball, swinging a little looper, shallow right field, falls in there for a base hit. Jeremy Knight cuts it off, gets it into the infield. Base hit to right field for Soderlund. 4 hits now for Aberdeen.
brings up number 5, right fielder, Simon Voorhees.
Simon Voorhees steps to the plate, right fielder. He's 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time up. That was in the second inning. Runners at first and second. With 1 down. And the pitch from Belaski. Fastball outside, ball 1. Now here's a 1-0 set. Now here's a pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1-1 the count. And here's a pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Bernier. 2 balls and a strike. And here's a 2-1 set. And here's a pitch. Fastball up. 3 balls and a strike. And here's the 3-1 grounder. Right back to Belaski. He's going to throw short. Nice play by Gabe Iverson at shortstop and completes the 1-6-3 double play. Belaski got it. Threw hard to shortstop. Gabe Iverson had to pick it out of the dirt. He does so, steps on the bag, throws across a diamond to complete the 1-6-3 double play. And for Aberdeen, no runs, 1 hit. They leave a runner aboard at the end of 3.5. Kindred Vikings lead this one by a score of 11-1 on yourliveevent.com.
Lane Marathon in Kindred is your neighborhood convenience store where convenience meets quality, whether you're fueling up with Marathon's top-tier fuel or grabbing a quick snack. Express Lane has you covered. From hot stuff pizza, smash hit subs, premium soft serve ice cream, gas, diesel, and propane exchange. Make sure to use your Marathon app and get 7 cents back per gallon all summer long. Now offering premium 91 non-ethanol fuel. Express Lane is your friendly and locally owned convenience store.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Legion Baseball.
Kindred Vikings will bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. They lead it by a score of 11-1. Dylan Stone will lead it off. He came in as a defensive replacement for Fisher Johnson. So he's going to get an at-bat here. Andy Traum is on deck. And it looks like Kylan Swenson took the place of Brady Baumgarten in center field, so he'll likely bat.
Birthday boy at the plate.
Swing, big old swing by Dylan Stone. Caught the catcher a little bit. Strike 1. Now here's the 0-1 set. And the pitch. Off speed, in there, inside, I guess. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike. And here's a 2-1. Fastball away. 3 balls and a strike. And here's a pitch. Outside, he walked him. Andy Traum steps to the plate. He struck out to end the 1st inning, laced a base hit to center field in the 3rd, came around to score. So nobody out, runner on first base. Kylan Swenson is on deck. Throw over to first base, skips away, and Stone is going to be able to advance to second base, and he'll stop there on the error by the pitcher. It'll be E1. 5 errors now for Aberdeen. Runner on second base with nobody out. 1 run, 4 hits, 5 errors now for the Smitties. Vikings 11 runs and 9 hits. Andy Traum at the plate. And the pitch outside. 1-0 the count. Throw again back to second base. Back in plenty of time is Dylan Stone. And here's a pitch. Fastball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Mason Backus on the mound for the Smitties. He's on in relief. And here's a 2-0 set and the pitch. Fastball is up and in. 3 balls and no strikes to number 10, Andy Trum.
Yeah, that's where you have to kind of feel that out. If it's 83, you think you're okay, and 84, they're going to get you.
Here's the 3-0 set and the pitch. Fastball's in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher. Lazinski. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Kylan Swenson steps to the plate, getting his first plate appearance of the day. Brady Baumgarten scored all 3 times he came to the plate, twice on errors by the shortstop, and another time he was hit by a pitch and came across the score. And here's the pitch. Off speed, swing and a miss by Kylan Swenson. Here's the 0-1. In there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Now here's the 0-2 delivery. Fastball down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Backus is throwing 40 pitches now. Right-handed pitcher kicks and fires. Fastball away. It's going to skip away from the catcher, and the runners move up on the pass ball. Stone over to third. Trom to second. Two and 2 the count. And here's the pitch. Fastball is up. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kylan Swenson. Stanley Belaski is on deck. And here's the 3-2. Fastball swing and a miss. He got him. Swenson goes down on strikes. First out of the inning. And Stanley Belaski will bat. He's thrown a nice ball game. And he's also had a nice day at the plate. A bunt single in the first, scored a run, lined out, and had an RBI single in the third, stole a base, and came around to score. So 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, and a run batted in at the plate today for Stanley Belaski. And here's a pitch. Up high, ball 1. Max Bernier is on deck. He came in as a defensive replacement last inning for Graham Hess, the catcher. Here's the pitch. Down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Now here's a 2-0 set and the pitch. Off speed, hit high in the air to center field. This should at least get 1 run home. And Trom is going to try to make it into third, and the throw is not in time. A sacrifice fly for Stanley Belaski to center field. His second run driven in. 2 outs now. Run comes across. It's a 12-1 lead for the Kindred Vikings, and that'll bring up Max Bernier, his first plate appearance of the ball game. Graham Hess in his position. He was 2 for 2 with an RBI single. In his position, scored 3 runs. He did have a walk as well. And here's a pitch down low, ball 1. Jeremy Knight is on deck. And here's a pitch outside. And this could get a run home, and it will. Andy Trom's going to score on the wild pitch. 13-1 for the Kindred Vikings. 2-0 count to the batter, Max Bernier. 13-1 lead. Now here's a 2-0 fastball inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Now here's a 3-0 count. Throwing out of the full windup is Backus. And the pitch, fastball down low. He walked him. Max didn't see a strike. Draws a walk.
Bernier draws the walk. Brings up right fielder number 17, Jeremy Knight.
That'll bring up Jeremy Knight. Jeremy has hit the ball hard a couple of times, has a couple of extra base hits. And we are going to have a pitching change here first. So it looks like the right fielder is going to come on to pitch. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back after this on YourLiveEvent.com.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. For any accounting needs you may have, Todd R. World Certified Public Accountant has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial sales and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
Welcome back, everybody.
Jeremy Knight draws a walk. We are experiencing some.
Easy for you to say. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties, but we'll hang in as best we can here.
Carson Getty's the batter now. Jeremy Knight saw a 4-pitch walk from the new pitcher, number 5, Simon Voorhees. and his teammates getting into it a little bit. I'm guessing Simon doesn't pitch a whole lot, but they're cheering him on and getting his teammates going. Both teams having a little fun here. Carson Getty to bat for his walked Jeremy Knight on 4 pitches. Tyler Grunwald is courtesy running for the catcher, Max Bernier, so he's on at second base now. Jeremy Knight on at first, 2 outs. And here's a pitch from tall number 5, Voorhees. Throws it wild, and a throw down to third won't be in time. Grunwald to third, Jeremy Knight to second on the wild pitch. Carson Getty, the batter, walked and scored a run in the first, singled in the second, lined out to first. His last at bat, he's 1 for 2. And here's a 2-1, way upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now here's a 3-1, way up high. He walked him, and Getty will get down to first base on the walk. Sawyer Hess will get an at-bat here. Kelby Erdman started the game at first base. Kelby was hit by 2 pitches and grounded out. He drove in 2 runs in the process, hit by the pitch with the bases loaded and grounded out and scored a run in the second. And that'll bring up Sawyer Hess. He has 2 runs scored in the ball game. He courtesy ran a couple of times for his brother Graham Hess. Came across to score twice. And now here's the pitch. Fastball outside, and we're not going to score the runs. Coach Almaris is stopping everybody. And again, we'd like to extend our thank yous and our welcome to Kindred to Aberdeen, the Smitties. We called them up and asked them if they wanted to play after there was a cancellation, and they said they would come and play us, so here they are.
Yeah, and thank you to all of our sponsors.
Sorry, Sawyer Hess was hit by a pitch. He'll drive in a run. Came up around his head, but it hit him in the back area. Getty to second, Jeremy Knight to third, and
I heard the click. I think it got him in the base of the helmet there, too. But, yes, we do want to thank all of our sponsors and invite you to stick around for the Todd Wold CPA post-game show. For any accounting requisitions from income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals or businesses, go online to wold-cpa.com. And also in that post-game show, we will have the Enbridge Player of the Game. Life takes energy. Enbridge, energy for life. Enbridge.com for career opportunities. And the HTC Connection of the Match. Discover local reliability you can trust. Halstead Telephone. It's how to connect. HalsteadTel.com.
It's a 14-1 lead now for the Kindred Vikings. Gabe Iverson steps to the plate. He had that big 2-run single in the first, popped up to second, grounded out to second. 1 for 3. Simon Voorhees on to pitch. He started the game in right field. He's on to pitch in relief here. Mason Backus was the second pitcher, and the starting pitcher was Preston Welke. Now here's the pitch. Misses down, ball 1. Gabe Iverson, the batter. And here's the pitch. Way up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Dylan Stone is back on deck. And here's the pitch. It gets away. Runners will not advance. Jeremy Knight stays put on third base. 3-0 the count to Gabe Iverson. Now here's the 3-0 set. And the pitch. Way up high, ball 4. He walked him. That'll drive in another run. Jeremy Knight comes across to score. It's an RBI for Gabe Iverson, his 3rd run batted in.
Now Elmaris and their coach are having a little discussion about what to do and how to end it.
And I think we're just going to end the ball game right here. The coaches got together and had a little discussion, and they've just decided, hey, it's hot, it's a big lead, and we'll just end this ball game. Kindred Vikings win it by a score of 15-1. And thanks again, once again, for Aberdeen to come out and play these baseball games. They play against Wahpeton, they play against the Kindred Vikings, and thank you so much for coming out here and playing the baseball game for us. A lot of fun. And we'll take a break. We'll come back with the Todd Wold CPA postgame show after this.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered, servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Halstead Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halstead, Shelley, Neillsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argusville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halstead Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halstead Telephone Company today.
Welcome back, everybody, and that is a wrap on the Essentia Health Legion Baseball Tournament for the venue of Kindred, North Dakota. It's been a fun 3 days, and this one ends up Kindred. Aberdeen came out to play Kindred here this afternoon, and we appreciate them loving the game of baseball and coming out for a doubleheader. They had played Wahpeton, and then we just wrapped up with them as well.
For the Kindred Vikings, they came away with a 15-1 victory. On the mound for the Kindred Vikings, Stanley Belaski has a nice game on the mound. He goes 4 innings, allows 3 hits, 1 run. It was not earned. Walked 1, struck out 6 batters. At the plate, he also went 2 for 3, a couple of runs scored, a couple of runs driven in, 1 on a sac fly and 1 on an RBI single. He stole a base as well. How about Brady Baumgarten? Was 0 for 2 at the plate, but he scored 3 runs in the ballgame. Jeremy Knight went 2 for 3 with a hard hit double and a hard hit triple. Scored 2 runs, drove in 2 runs. Carson Getty 1 for 2 with a run scored. And Gabe Iverson 1 for 3 with 3 runs driven in. And Andy Traum 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. He did draw a walk as well, as the Kindred Vikings win this one by a score of 15-1. On the mound for Aberdeen, Preston Welke went 2 innings, allowed 5 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned, walked 2, struck out 2. He'll take the loss, and Mason Backus, inning and 2/3, allowed 4 hits, 7 runs, all earned, walked 3, did strike out a batter. Simon Voorhees did come on, didn't get anybody out, allowed just the 1 run, walked 3, and I think it's one of his first pitching performances, so hats off to him for coming into the ball game with a big deficit and coming in to try to throw some strikes. And didn't shake out for him very well, but him and his teammates kept a very positive attitude down there. And at the end of the ball game, the coaches just decided to just end the ball game. They talked it over the umpire, and they called it a game. And once again, thank you to Aberdeen, the Smitties, coming up from South Dakota. We invited them to come down and play another game, and they did so. And so we'll be back with the Enbridge Player of the Game.
For any accounting needs you may have, Todd, our world certified public accountant, has you covered. From income tax planning, preparation, and consulting for individuals and businesses. Todd Wold CPA would like to wish the best to the teams competing and thank the coaches and players for their hard work and dedication throughout the season on and off the field, as anything can happen every night at the Diamond. For more information, go online to wold-cpa.com. That's wold-cpa.com. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
And welcome back to Kindred, live from Kindred Varsity Field. The Kindred Vikings win this one by a score of 15-1. We have our two super seniors up here to get an interview. We'll go with the HTC connection of the match. It goes to Andy Traum. Andy Traum, you score a couple of runs today. You go 1 for 2 with a hard hit base hit. Play some solid defense out there at second base. Wanted to ask you all season long, how does it feel to be a super senior, and how does it feel that Kindred Youth Baseball has been so important to you over the last several years?
It's great. Love coming back, playing one more year with the guys. I was really excited about this team. A lot of young guys that are fun to play with. Jack and Kylan have been kind of my guys too, so getting to play one more year with them has been really special.
Okay, well that's a great win for the Kindred Vikings there. Aberdeen comes out, says they'll play another game for us, so they gave us another game after a cancellation. What is that? We'd like to thank the Aberdeen Smitties for coming out to play the game. And what did that do for you guys to get out and get a chance to play another baseball game?
Yeah, any day you can come out and play some ball is a good day. And thanks to Aberdeen for coming out and playing us, giving us some at-bats, giving us a good look, just some experience. And having a fun day with the boys is always a good time.
So this is, I would imagine, chance number 2 or 3 for you to be able to play in state baseball. We head to the regionals here next week, and we get a good chance to go into state baseball. How does it feel to be a super senior and play a lot of baseball?
Yeah, my time in Legion's been a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs, kind of worked my way through. Sat behind another super senior, Graham Glazzo, his super senior year. Just getting to learn from all that has been a good time. So just a really good experience overall, and glad for it all.
Outstanding. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back with our Enbridge Player of the Game after this.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
And we're back with our two super seniors, Andy Traum and our Enbridge Player of the Game, Stanley Belaski. Stanley, you go 4 innings. Don't allow any earned runs, only allow the 3 hits, walk 1, strike out 6 batters. How did it feel out on the mound tonight?
Felt great. You know, I went through adversity the first inning, let up a couple hits, missed a tag at home, and it kind of fueled me to, you know, compete in the zone and, you know, get the guys out as much as I could.
That was a heck of a slide by that guy. It looked
Yeah,
like
it
he
was.
avoided your tag,
Yeah.
and he scored that first run. So they took a 1-0 lead early on. As our equipment is glitching out a little bit here with the heat, and our equipment is overheating, but we'll still continue with the interview. Stanley, you also go 2 for 3 on the mound, or at the plate, score a couple of runs, drive in 2 runs, steal a base. So you're our Enbridge player of the game. How does it feel coming out and playing another year of Legion baseball?
Feels great. You know, I'm going to miss the other seniors that graduated, but these group of guys that we have are fun to be around, and they're good young ball players that will definitely be a big part of the future for Legion and spring ball for Kindred.
All right, so you go into regionals next week. We have a game or two this next week in the regular season, and then we head into regionals. How do you like our chances for making it to state baseball?
I like our chances a lot. We've been playing good ball. You know, we've been pitching good recently. We've been hitting the ball. As long as that stays the same, we have the good same approach. Guys are pumping on the mound. I think we should have a good shot at state.
Outstanding. Congratulations on the Enbridge player of the game. Who are your shout-outs?
I want to shout out Oakley Dubord and Remy Dubord. You know, Oakley's my coach. I love him a lot. I also want to shout out my mom for always coming to my games, too.
Excellent, excellent. And Andy Trom, I didn't get a chance. If you want to talk into the microphone over there, I never gave you a chance to get in your shout-out. So who's your shout-out for the game?
I want to shout out my mom. She coached me even when I was way back when in Davenport. And then I want to shout out Dean. He's been putting a lot of work in with him, getting the swing right. And then Eggman for being a good coach, someone I can talk to, learn the game of baseball from. So those three have been a lot to me.
All right. Well, outstanding, you two. Congratulations on the 15-1 win, and we'll end our broadcast on yourliveevent.com. Thanks for watching, everybody.